Hey guys, I wanted to make something of a update video on the Jeep because, well, it's been a long time, and somebody who hasn't commented on my videos in quite a long time as well actually asked how it was going, and I've been working on it a lot recently, so I wanted to talk about some of that. And today I actually went and bought new headlights. You may be just wondering, okay, like, why the heck are we putting new headlights on when we have these LEDs, which these are good. They're good lights. But as you can see, they've been on here quite a while. They're starting to cloud up, and more than anything, I would just show it, but it's too hard to show in the garage. You know, a lot of people talk about putting LEDs in projector housings and how it kind of messes with the light balance and blinds other drivers and stuff. I don't know about the blinding other drivers part. I feel like OEM LED headlights are an awful lot brighter, but in any case, the point is that in projector housings, LED bulbs don't work as well as halogen bulbs, and that's true. This doesn't really have that same problem, but it has a different problem. You see, the way that headlights are aimed matters, and a projection housing has a very specific way it projects the light. It kind of focuses it, you know, it's got like a hard cut off top and bottom and at the sides, kind of direct the light exactly where it needs to go. Well, these are like floodlights. They don't have a hard fall off whatsoever. You turn them on, they're just kind of spewing light everywhere. You turn on the high beams and it spews light a little bit higher up. Like it's just, these are off-roading lights. I'm driving this every day. I don't want this. I don't want off-roading lights. I feel like I am being obnoxious to other drivers with these because this is no longer projection. This is just like your phone flashlight, except way brighter. So yeah, I want to put regular lamps in. I could have spent the extra on the Silver Star lamps, but I kind of didn't want that. I don't know how different they actually are, but I kind of wanted the old school kind of yellowish light. I feel like the whole vibe of this Jeep is kind of old, like old school car. Like that's kind of what I'm going for. And I'm getting off in the weeds already, but I want to make a proper full video later once I'm actually kind of done working on it. But briefly, I want to talk about some of the stuff I have done. And I'll put those in and demonstrate later. I guess I'll just start over here. Peeking into the interior here, you'll see there's no door cards on the front because I'm dealing with all kinds of wiring problems, and I've been dealing with it for a long time. It's kind of turned into a lot. Now, there's a broken wire down there. I can't remember if that's one I already found or not. That's probably what's making the rear windows not work. But the center console here is gone because I'm waiting on a new stereo, and some previous owner did the worst wiring job on the worst, cheapest Walmart stereo you could possibly imagine. It's horrible, and it's halfway broken. So I got a better stereo system. I'm going to have to redo all that wiring myself. No headliner still. Haven't done that. Map lights still don't work. I haven't really investigated that further. New speakers in the trunk. These are the Rockford Fosgate Prime series, I think. I think that's what they were called. They're like $80 per pair. I got a pair for the front as well. They sound really good. I just haven't installed the ones in the front yet because they wouldn't work if they were here. So there's that. Got a brand new, I don't know where it is, but I got a brand new window switch control panel for the driver's door. That fixed most of the interior problems, really. Made the power mirror adjustment work. Only one window is broken now. The other three work, except this one only works sometimes, and I think that is the fault of the passenger side one. So I bought a new passenger side one as well, which doesn't come in yet. The Mopar fuzzy dice. That was a gift from a friend. Thanks, Michael. I guess that's kind of it on the interior, except that last night I did figure out why the seatbelt chime wasn't working. It was just unplugged under the seat, which is kind of fun. Not important, but... Why are the wipers on? Whoops. But, you know, not really important, but it does kind of feel like part of the old car vibe for it to beep when you turn it on, so I kind of wanted that to be working. I'm in the garage. I'm not going to show you, but the horn works now, and the cruise control works as well. The airbag light is still on. I don't know what's causing that. I don't know how to troubleshoot that, really. But the rearview mirror is broken. I don't know if I could fix this. Like, it feels like the little flip lever thingy here is just broken, which is very annoying. But it's livable. I still haven't fixed the fact this door doesn't open from the inside, but almost nobody ever rides with me in here. So whatever. Yesterday, bled the brakes, swapped out the diff oil. Nobody told me that smelled like sour cream and cheddar chips mixed with rotten eggs. That was not a good smell. I legitimately almost vomited. But it's done now, so that's good, I guess. And yeah, brakes are flushed. Let me show you under the hood real quick some of the crap I've had to deal with here in the last year. I wasn't driving this for a while, to be honest. I had a lot of other stuff I was dealing with in life and just never got around to fixing a lot of it. But I've been working on it a lot more recently. I replaced the fan shroud, finally. That wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but it was still harder than it should have been. Replaced the electric fan, not because it wasn't working, but because it physically broke when I took it out recently. So I had to go without an electric fan for a little bit, managed to get it back in there just barely, and then I was afraid it was going to fall off on the road because it was basically only held in with these bolts at the top, and even this corner was starting to crack, so I just bought a new one. But great thing about new parts, you hear that? Bearings are already bad in this, so that's awesome. Love that. There's supposed to be a cable shroud here going over this wiring harness. That's missing. I rerouted this so that hopefully my injector wires aren't just rubbing against the fuel rail. This one I've now realized is literally twisted and taped. I don't know how that's working, but it is, so I'm not going to mess with it. Zip-tied those after I saw in a video that, well, you can see some damage starting to happen on the cable cladding there. That was rubbing against the fuel rail, and that will eventually fail if you don't keep that in check. So zip-tied that. PCV, or actually it's CCV. It's not positive crankcase ventilation, it's continuous crankcase ventilation. Whoever tried to fix this last time had these elbows swapped. So you want the small opening at the rear connected to the small opening on the intake manifold, and the large opening on the front connected to the large opening on the airbox. They had those swapped, which was causing some weird oil blow-by issues. Not to mention they were just broken. Got all that swapped out. The plastic hoses are the same ones, but I got all the rubber bits and these elbows and these grommets all replaced, and that's way better. There's supposed to be a holder for all the throttle cables here. That's gone. I don't know where that is. It was never there as far as I know. This isn't the original engine. I've since learned that this is a replacement engine. The engine computer I replaced because it was mismatched. It was a California emissions computer on a 49 states engine, which was causing all kinds of fun problems. That's solved. What else was there? Yeah, obviously I did plugs and coils. Not that they were bad. I just was like, that's a thing you do when you get an old car. Did the front brakes. The rear brakes seem fine, but the front ones were grinding. Was an idiot. Forgot to crack the bleeder screws on the calipers as I compressed them. Overflowed the brake reservoir onto the brake booster, which has started to corrode the booster, and as you can see, dissolved all of the printing on the label on it. So brake fluid is really nasty and corrosive. Don't get that all over everything, you guys. That is not good. But it's survived, seemingly. Oh yes, my friend had, in an effort to fix an overheating problem, put a low-temp thermostat in. Don't do that. It doesn't fix anything. It's a common, understandable misconception, but it's a misconception nonetheless. I put an OEM spec thermostat in here with a new housing and a new sending unit because I wasn't convinced that was still working with as rusty as everything was in there. And that was this was like $10. This was like 15, I think. So cheap insurance. Even though it's not something people actually said to replace, it just seemed reasonable. New water pump, that actually completely failed recently. Like, it was wobbling, and I could show it to you, but it's buried in the junk somewhere in here. Bearings went bad. It was making all kinds of terrible racket and not pumping water very effectively, so that's a new pump. The alternator makes bad noises, but it's still working for now, so that's cool. Camshaft sensor failed. It was a cheap knockoff part. I put an NTK camshaft sensor in there. If you ever see that green logo, that's an NTK sensor. That's what you want. I will only buy NTK sensors now. I suggest you do the same. The crankshaft sensor, I don't even know what's on there, and that could be part of why the idle quality is poor, so I have an NTK crankshaft sensor in the glove box in case it ever fails. The AC compressor seized up. You can actually see on the front of the clutch, well, you could if the fan shroud wasn't here, that it's all discolored from heat because the clutch itself burned up when that happened. Thankfully, it didn't, shred my belt or anything. I just pulled the fuse for the AC clutch so I can keep using the defrosters and stuff without that trying to run. Yeah, that's kind of everything in here that I've done. I did flush the whole cooling system as best I could. It didn't do super well. I mean, it's a cast iron block. What can you do? It's just going to be full of rust no matter what you do at this age. But I did my best. The heat works now. It did not always. And the coolant is greenish, which is a good sign. Yeah. It's looking better all the time. The catalytic converter clogged. And I had done a terrible, like AutoZone special exhaust initially, but I recently picked up a new cat, took it to a muffler shop, had him put it on with a new O2 sensor, and that is a new muffler. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it even says what it is anywhere. It's like some cheap knockoff Flowmaster. It sounds pretty good when you're outside the vehicle. When you're inside, it's kind of a headache machine. It's not that loud. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how much I like it yet. But although it's a little bit messy, I'd say that guy did a pretty good job. Those are some beefy welds. Whenever idiot replaced the engine, because yes, the engine's been replaced. It has a 2000 engine. I mean, it is a 2000, but it's a very late 99 manufacture date, so should have had a 99 style engine and exhaust. It didn't. And there's supposed to be a hanger where this kind of like hooks up here and just sits there. They welded that. Good job, guys. Had to take the whole exhaust off instead of just part of it because it was welded, and I had to cut, I don't know if it's still there, but I had to cut the original exhaust hanger. It was rubber. The guy at the muffler shop just gave me a nice universal hanger here, which is working just fine. The hatch, which I can't open right now because it's super windy and I'd have to open the garage, it stays up now. I put new lift gate supports on it, which is very handy. Very glad that I did that. But overall, man, it's just been reliable. It's never stranded me. It came close once when that camshaft sensor failed, but I managed to drive it home with it smoking like a two-stroke and just fixed it here. The battery did die eventually. No big deal. Drove it to AutoZone, had them put a new one in it. Yeah, I mean, it's an XJ. What is there really to say about it? There's so few electronics in here that, for the most part, if it is a critical system that fails because of wiring or something, you can track it down pretty easily. If it isn't, you can live without it. I've heard the Grand Cherokees don't have the same good luck there. All kinds of electrical gremlins in those. Oh yes, power steering leaks, transmission leaks, both from the cooler lines and, I believe, the shaft itself. But I'm planning to manual swap it at some point, so I don't really care too much. I mean, it's a two-wheel drive XJ. What am I doing with an automatic? Like, I'm not off-roading. I want it to be fun. So, yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting, like, the most obvious thing. I took the, or I didn't take it off. My friends took off the cattle guard yesterday, which I don't know. At first I thought it was cool, but then I realized it's kind of ugly, and I feel like it ruins the look of this vehicle, which is just so beautifully 80s at the front. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. I mean, it's modernized. Like, it's a little smooth. This is obviously a 2000, so it's after the facelift, but it's still so boxy. So 80s looking. It's just a timeless design. So, on the agenda is still new tires. These tires are starting to dry rot, and they're like 6 years old, I think. Just kind of waiting until I get everything sorted before I do that. New battery connectors. That is as on there as that will go, which has so far not been a problem, but that's not a great thing. Obviously, the AC is completely shot. I'm going to pay a local mechanic to do that, which is probably going to cost me what the car is worth, but I don't really care. I want to keep it. So I need to have working AC. And while he's in there, I'm going to have him replace the heater core, because those tend to leak eventually. Mine hasn't yet, but it surely will. And if you want to replace the heater core, you have to discharge the AC, which I am neither qualified nor equipped to do. So that's something that I will have to pay somebody else to do too, and I might as well just do it up front preventatively. Yeah, it runs like a top, relatively speaking. I mean, it's a 4 liter. It doesn't ever run particularly smooth. It's kind of it's amazing that you can take a naturally very smooth powertrain like a straight 6 and make it run like a tractor, but that's what they did. I'm just kidding. It's actually a marvel of engineering, because the car is 25 years old. The engine design at its core is like, what, 60 years old? Almost. So, you know, just kind of is what it is. The vacuum system seems to work okay. Cruise control works. The climate control works. Yes, the climate control mix door is vacuum actuated on these. I don't know why. I've never seen this in another car. Every other car I've had, it's either you turn a knob and it's motorized, or you turn a knob and you are physically moving the door when you turn the knob. In here, you turn the knob and it's vacuum actuated, which is slow, clunky, and prone to failure. But it's Mopar or no car, or whatever the kids say these days. Thanks, Chrysler. Anyway, it needs paint, but it doesn't need paint as badly as it needs a bajillion other things. When I took it to the muffler shop, the guy was like, yeah, the 4 liter is a pretty good engine, isn't it? Just, you got to keep sticking dollar bills into it. And I just started cracking up. I was like, yeah, that's exactly that's exactly how it is. Oh, right. And when I was dealing with the cooling system, I cracked the air box. So that's sucking in some dirt, but the 4 liter can have a little bit of dirt. It's probably tasty or whatever. I don't know. That's fine. No, I might do an aftermarket intake at some point, just because, I mean, for one thing, I like induction noise more than exhaust noise personally, and there's not a lot of that here. And those factory airbox designs are just so troublesome. So I don't know what the standard kind of solution is for that, but I'll have to kind of look into it, I guess. Anyway, that's the update, I guess. I haven't really done as much as I thought I did, now that I've actually started talking about it. Mainly just, normal stuff that was broken when I got it that I dragged my feet on fixing. Like, very little has happened to it. It's just about ready to go on a road trip. I'm planning to try to take it to VCF next year. I'll just have to have AC before I do that, because VCF is in Texas. So, yeah. We'll see. We will see. And I'll go ahead and show you what I mean with the headlights here, because hard to see, but you see how soft the light is? And also how there's, 5 shadows? It's just kind of... Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't love it. And I just don't feel like it fits the vibe of the car. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it right here. Look at how soft this light actually is. This is like... If you want light like this, put an LED light bar right here or something. Like, that's what it's for off-roading. Like this, that's what you would do. You wouldn't do this for daily driving. I mean, I guess some people do. High beams. Oh, I'm missing the stock. Yeah, same thing. You could really... Wow, you can actually really see how soft the light is right there. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. We'll see how I feel once I actually replace the headlights. They were $25 each. The, silver whatevers that I've forgotten the name of somehow, even though I know I said it earlier. They were $32 each. And there were, of course, some really basic ones that were $22 each. And I was like, why wouldn't I spend $25 each at that price difference? These are probably better. I don't know if they actually are, but they say it's brighter. So I don't know. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching and being interested in whatever I have to yak about. I know there's a few of you out there who actually do listen to my long-winded explanations for everything. But I'll try to do another proper update video once it's all done, and I'll kind of take it out on the road and talk about what's next. Really, mechanically, all it needs at this point is a front end. And I've got all that sitting in that box, basically. Front struts, ball joints, stuff like that. I don't know the condition of the steering rack, but I'm going to have to deal with that eventually. But it's really... Man, it's so close. It is so close. I want to drive this every day. Like, I've just come to love this. Anyway, I'm yakking again. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you later.